Welcome to the Aftermarket Report with Vegas and Jim, supporting traders globally and achieving their financial security and freedom. And please subscribe and ring that bell for future updates of our YouTube channel. And we've got a great watch list that we'd like to share for you. That's a small one, but list of three. But here we go, Miss Vegas.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, you had a nice trading day Monday. I will say the market was I found it a bit, slow at some points, lack of volume following through, and just kind of like I think some trader exhaustion in some cases. But nevertheless, always good opportunities to find some dips, some reversals. And I want to talk to you guys about Apple today, SEAL, and Tesla. So let's get right into it. So we're going to talk about Apple. I mean, Apple had some nice upgrades today in the market. Um, Apple went as low as 264.91 and as high as 270.80. But we did have an Apple put because Apple was pulling back. It looked to me that there was a couple gap fills down here, and we took advantage of that. And we took an actual Apple trade, and we took the puts. And you could see there, Jim can show you. It was pretty quick. I mean, the option trade moved pretty quick. We took the puts for the 260 strike. They were $58 at the time. And, within the hour, it moved to, 100% and, started suggesting to people in the room that they should probably look to sell calls, sell their puts, because it looked that Apple was going to try to reverse and go back up again. So congrats, did take the puts, and Apple was a great trade. I still believe Apple, even though when it pulls back, because a lot of the trade tension's still going on until that's kind of settled. This is a stock that can fluctuate and have its days where it's really bullish and days where it just pulls back. And today was kind of one of those days. And I still think Apple, any dip opportunity that people can find, I think it's a great opportunity to get the actual shares. Or if it really pulls back significantly, definitely look at getting some calls for a date further out, because you'll definitely get those calls, obviously at a cheap price. But certainly pick a different expiry date to certainly benefit from those sale prices. So, Jim, let's hear about the Apple chart, because I know we talked about this in the past. Not that long ago, we talked about Apple, and also we had a lot of upgrades, and there's been some fluctuations. So, what are basically the new supports and resistances that you're seeing on Apple?
Well, about becoming a good trader, there's things you got to think about. So I'm thinking if this tariff bill doesn't go through as a plan, Apple can probably pull back a little bit more. That's the only thing that I see with that. But we're going to go ahead and pull up the. That was a great call today, Miss Vegas. Noticing the trend in the pullback, we did have a red line support at 264.71, and we come real close to hitting that. So we're going to pull up the. Let's pull up the 5 minute. See if we see any patterns in here. We did have that big run out on Friday. The trend was all the way up, then it kind of consolidated, started to squeeze out. I noticed the sell. I told the room, I said, when we get that second low, you might want to go ahead and take your profit on it Friday. They did. And then today, right out of the gate, it started posing red. We had a descending pattern right here. You can see this descending pattern. You have lower highs, and then you have that neckline right there that I had it. I had a 269 support, but actually the neckline was right around the 269.33. Them lower highs, once they met, the sell-off began, and then it almost come down here and hit my support level of 264.71. If you watch our reports, you notice that we talk about these all the time. That red line is a solid support line. We did start to move up. We hit that 9 EMA and it pulled back and created a flat, solid bottom. And then the rest of the day, it kind of just ran up. Oh, it ran, from 264.96, 265, all the way up here to around 267.38, 40. So this is one we're going to be keeping an eye on. And like Miss Vegas says, I'm bullish on Apple, but if something happens with this tariff trade war with China, it can pull back again like it has in the past. Let's pull up the 20-day and just try to find us a little support level. I'm still going to stick with that red line at 264. That's pretty much pivot point in the channel that we've had in the last 20 days. Low support is no lower than 260.96, And then that resistance that we got to break is going to be right up here around 268.97. And then you can stop this video at any time and write some of these numbers down. They're kind of congested right now, but we are in a channel. And that low support, I'll repeat it again, it's going to be right around the 260.96 area. And then resistance to break is going to be that 269.12. And that's Apple. And here's another great call we did on a penny play, and that's SEAL. Miss
Okay,
Vegas.
so I wanted to mention, yeah, so SEAL, we mentioned they had the patent news, and that actually came out on Friday, and then yesterday in our video, Jim did talk about this stock and mention, this one could actually have a breakout. And for those of you that did listen to the video and did take notes of the supports and resistances, did see that SEAL did have a very nice move today. It was as low as 108, high of day was 145. Even now after hours, I mean, it's trading at 139. I still like this volume on SEAL. It's had 2.55 million shares traded. I actually still like SEAL even as a continuation into tomorrow. 189 will be the 200-day, so keep that on your radar because if it can get there, if there's a continuation, there'll definitely be buyers stepping in here at the 189 level. There's a lot of traders that actually don't trade any stocks until it gets to the 200-day support. That's just kind of like what they love trading. So I know their alerts have been set for those kind of traders, and they're hawking this at the moment. So definitely, let's hear, Jim, what you think about your idea on SEAL, because was a great call, and I loved trading it today.
Yeah, well, I proposed two different ways of trading this trade in the report, and it went with plan A, and that was the breakout. In the case it was going to pull back, I had a entry level on it to get in the trade and run it up to the resistance. So that 106 was the breaking point, and we right out of the gate, she pulled back to that 106 after hours, and then she started running up. She did hit that 106 for an entry level, and she bounced up, and then I had a resistance level that we had to break here at 117. And once we hit that and broke that, that 122 came in persistence, and then we had the 131, and then I had the 144. And I haven't added nothing to this. This was the way it was yesterday, all charted out. So we did hit my hard resistance up here at 144. We did have a high of 145. Let me pull up the daily. We'll get some kind of idea where I think it can pull back for an entry level. We do have a new support that I'm going to add, and that's going to be right here. That's going to be that 136. I'm going to drop it down just a couple notches right there to 135. The reason I did it, because we have these three little tops right here at 135. It did pull back to that place, and then we had this other follow through right here where it pulled back and bounced on up. So that's going to be your solid first support. Your second one's going to be this 131. And then, I like this 122, but I'm going to raise it up just a little bit and make it that 126 for your third. And then your strong buy is going to be in this channel right in here where we had to break out. And that's going to be between 117 and 122. The resistance that we do need to break is going to be that 144 area. If we can break that, we can get it to the new highs that Miss Vegas was talking about. If not, it can pull back. We did have a lower high right here. That could be an indicator that it does want to pull back a little bit. And always remember, on the daily 1 minute, I use the 200, the 34, and the 9 EMA as supports and resistances. So we're getting a little confirmation that that 135 right here is going to be your first support. 135, 134. They are moving averages, and they move on you in different time frames. So that was a great call on SEAL, and congratulations to people that took the trade. I know some of them did out there in social media. And the next one we're going to talk about is going to be another one that I got in. I want to bring something up real fast here on Tesla. There were some people on social media on stock twits, and it's always good to get a second opinion on trades. Now, I was pretty sure that we were going to have a bullish run on this trade today, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But being associated with stock twits, it gives you a different perspective sometimes with other traders, how they look at charts. And I just have to give kudos out to the bears out there for making me think twice on this trade. And Miss Vegas, Tesla.
Yes. Okay, so Tesla, what a beautiful run actually this had today. I mean, There was the news on the weekend, about Elon Musk and the pedophile news, and obviously the courts disagreed with that, and he was not charged with anything. So I mean, that kind of was like water under the bridge. And Tesla had a beautiful run at 344.45, and there was good opportunities here. We did trade it here on the calls. Had a great opportunity to make some money here, and low of the day was 335.08. Now the thing is, on Tesla, I do have an alert set for 346. I kind of want to see this really exciting move that can happen on Tesla if we can break 346 in the coming sessions. I mean, that's kind of the alert I've set for myself. And when that 346 prints off, I'm going to be looking to jump into this trade again and go on the calls and look for a long, because I'm really liking where this has opportunity, probably towards the 350s, like low 350s. So that's kind of where I set my alert. We'll see if it ever triggers. If it does, I'll definitely post on social media. If you follow us, I'll definitely post that trades triggered on Tesla. And those of you that listen to our videos would know what I'm talking about. So 346 is the next trigger for me that I've set up an alert. And Jim, I want to hear what you think about that kind of an alert and also the Tesla chart, because
Yeah,
you traded that and did great on it.
yeah. Tesla was one that I took out Friday. I got in the trade, and as I was saying, I've seen all these bullish patterns that was in the trade itself, and so I figured that we were going to have a bullish day today, and this is where I got into it Friday, right down here when this started to break up. Started having a pretty nice little run up to my resistance level that we called this out in the Sunday edition report, and I said we had to break. No, that was Friday. When was that? We did that Thursday night and had the Friday breakout. So she did have the double. I watch this every day. So we did have that higher high right here, and she went ahead and ran up and hit my resistance, and then right into close, she pulled back and started getting me to thinking twice about did I make a mistake here getting in this trade or not. But when I woke up this morning, I noticed that we were up about $1.50 or something pre-market, so I was pretty excited to see that. And we did have a nice little pullback to that support level that we had the lows there on Friday. And once that kind of messed around for about, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 minutes, then she started taking off. And then I seen that breakout happen, and I knew we were off to the races. We did pull back a couple times to that 34, but still respecting that 9 EMA. And here we go into close at 341.63, and that's where I think that's a new added resistance that I added on here today. So at 341.63. Now, I'm looking at this to pull back a little bit, maybe no lower than this old resistance that I had right here at 338.27 to 338.54. That'll be a triple bottom if it does pull back to that. And then we have that low support that I have to have hold now, which and this thing can still pull back. I mean, you've got bears that are attacking this, but we're bullish on it. I've been bullish on it for a very long time. And so low support at 337.08. I can't see it, and I don't want to see it go any lower than that. Strong buy at 334.95. And then the resistance to break, let me have a drink of water, to 341.63. And if we can break that, we'll go ahead and move up and get up to this next resistance of 345.26. But I'm still bullish on it. Vegas is bullish on it. We just got to play the trend. Give that first 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes every time you want to jump into a trade, give it some time to kind of build itself. And then if it decides to go ahead and break out or create a higher double bottom, a higher low, then you maybe go off to the races. See what we've done right here, a higher low. We got up to a daily high. Then you had the lower highs, it was time to sell. So I keep preaching this. The higher lows and the lower highs are indicators to buy and sell signals. And that's Tesla. And that's it for the aftermarket report. Miss Vegas, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I just want to say that today was an interesting day as usual. Just again, everyone's waiting to see what's happening with the tariff news because the deadline is on Sunday. And, we kind of want to know, are we going to hear any information between now and the end of the week? Are we going to hear nothing and then hear something on the weekend? I mean, obviously, if we hear nothing between now and Friday, we're obviously going to have to hear something by the weekend because those tariffs are supposed to kick in on the 15th. The other thing, too, is we have the FOMC meeting on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and then we have the FOMC announcements at 2:30. So, certainly stay tuned for that information happening this week, too. So, as usual, just trade what comes to you and look for good opportunities. Sometimes a lot of good dips here in some of these large cap stocks. I'm looking forward to hearing about Lululemon and Costco this week, and we'll go from there. So I wish everyone a fantastic trading week. And Jim and I are always here, so you're welcome to follow us and subscribe. And we're happy to answer you when we can during the day. And everyone have a great evening.
All right, this is the Aftermarket Report with Vegas and Jim. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring that bell. We have our Twitter bird up here. Follow us on Twitter. We also have StockTwits logins. And I do want to give kudos out to StockTwits today. They're always a different perspective to look at. And there's some good traders in there. And we've got Pinterest, and we've got the YouTube channel, and then we got a little store here if you ever want to go check out some of our merchandise. This is the Aftermarket Report with Vegas and Jim. Today's date, December 9th, 2019, and we love stocks.